Good morning, ma'am. I am Colin Margaret Addis, the leader of our group. On behalf of my members, John Rainier Melo, Eric Luis Angustia, Errol Heraldes, and Ismael Tundagi, I would like to present to you the content of our research entitled Status Investigation, the Perception of the Teachers Towards Their Salary at Dei Gracia Academy. So here it goes. First is our introduction. In 2018, Javier Luque said that teachers must be ensured and given the proper amount of salary. The management of the school must pay attention to the amount of salary that they give to the teachers, considering the factors like whether it meets to the expectations and satisfaction of the teachers, and if it is suitable for the daily expenses and needs. Teachers take a huge part to the quality education of a school. That's why the suitable amount of salary is appropriate for the teachers. Unlike public schools, private schools doesn't depend on the government when it comes to the teacher's salary. The management of the school is the one who is responsible on giving the salary of the teachers. The importance of this research is to prioritize the private school teachers on their monthly compensation and to consider their satisfaction on the amount of salary that they receive. Since the goal of the research process is to produce new knowledge or deepen the understanding of a topic or issue, this is for the sake of the management of the school to understand the teacher's point of view regarding on their salary, whether it is a positive or negative outlook. The reasons on conducting this study is to build knowledge based on the gathered information about the teacher's perceptions on their salary. The researchers, research participants, and the individuals of society will be benefited. The knowledge of the researchers will be broadened, and it will serve as a guide to the future researchers. Research participants take part of this study with the cause and purpose. This will serve as a self-reflection to the teachers if they are satisfied on what they receive or not. On some cases, teachers doesn't have time to self-reflect and to look for themselves because of the busy schedule. This study will help them think properly. This study can be used for future purposes. Teachers that are already working on the school will have a reflection on themselves regarding on the salary that they receive. Aspiring teachers will have a reference on the salary cycle of the school that they want to work on. Everyone in the society will be benefited in the study. Benefits of conducting this research include extending the current research base by revealing key aspects about the compensation pay cycle. Like what I said before, the knowledge about this private school salary will be broadened. It can be used as the basis for the improvement of the school and the management itself. The study about the teacher's perception towards the salary can be a learning paradigm to enhance their knowledge of the teachers, parents, school, and the community regarding on their compensation cycle. So here is the significance of the study. First is the teachers. The teachers' opinions and concerns serve as a reflection of themselves regarding on the salary that they receive. Concerns serve as a reflection of themselves, and it will serve as the guide whether they are satisfied or not. The management of the schools will be able to consider their insights towards their salary and therefore can be used as an improvement on their pay system. Second is the parents. The parents of the students will be aware on the compensation cycle of the school where their child is studying. Parents have the rights to know whether the amount of salary a teacher receives meets their satisfaction because the salary comes from the tuition fee of the students. is the school. The school will have a reference on the perception of the teachers regarding on the salary that they gave to them. Since private schools have their own standards and authority, they can consider the concern of their teachers that can improve the school. The concerns of the teachers and the opinions of the teachers will serve as a guide for the improvement of the school on the compensation pay cycle. And the last one is the society. Individuals will be aware on what is going on inside the school. They will be informed about the perception of the teachers towards their salary. This serves as the basis on an individual that wants to be a teacher in the future rather. Next is the conceptual framework. The given framework discusses the elements used in the study such as the perception of the teachers and the teacher's salaries. So the conceptual framework can be shown below. So here it is. First is the teacher's perception. So what is the teacher's perception? This element pertains to how private teachers form opinions when it comes to the amount of salary that they get monthly. It serves as the reflection on the salary satisfaction on the teachers. Okay, so the perception of the teachers serves as the opinions of the teachers or their insights whether the salary that they receive is appropriate or if it meets to the satisfaction of the teachers, whether it is suitable for their daily expenses or needs or not. Such factors are the ways on how they cope with their monthly allowance and the management of the salary for their daily expenses. So there are many factors on the perception of the teachers. So some of them is how the teachers are able to cope with their monthly allowance and how they are able to budget their salary for their daily expenses. The teacher's perception will serve as the reflection of themselves on their satisfaction and on their expectation on the salary that they receive monthly. The second element is the teacher's salary. The salary that is given in private school doesn't come from the local or national government, just like what I've said before, that there is a huge difference between the salary of the private school teachers and the salary of the public school teachers. The salary of the private school teachers comes from the management of the school and on the tuition fees of the students. The management of the school has the power and the right to give the amount of salary that they wanted to on their teachers. The conceptual model exhibits how salary affects the teacher's perception. The researcher's goal is to ascertain the salary perceptions towards their salary and how the teachers are able to cope and manage their monthly salary for their daily needs. The management of their expenses shows the substantiality of the salary and the satisfaction of the teachers. Overall, the insights of the teachers depends on the salary that they receive, right? The reflection of the teachers on their compensation pay greatly depends on the amount of salary that they receive monthly, whether they are satisfied or not. It greatly depends on the amount of the salary that they receive, whether it is high or low, on the satisfaction that on the satisfaction of the teachers. So that's it. That is the relationship between the teacher's perception and the salary. Next is the statement of the problem. The purpose of this study is to identify and analyze the perception of the teachers towards the salary at Dei Gracia Academy. This study aims to answer the following questions. So the questions are, first, what are the perception of the private school teachers towards their salary? Second, how can they cope with their monthly allowance? And third, how do the teachers manage their salary for their daily expenses? Scope and delimitation. This study is primarily focused on the perception of the teachers towards their salary. So it is only focused on the insights, on the opinions, or the perception of the teachers on their salary. Nothing more, nothing less. This broadens the factors of the teacher's salary, such as the management of the salary for daily expenses and how they cope up with their monthly allowance. This study is delimited only to 5 elementary school teachers and 3 high school teachers. The interview will be conducted only at the Dei Gracia Academy. Researchers will give them a set of questions and the answer serves as the data being collected. Here is the research methodology. The research outlines the research design, sampling technique, data gathering process, and the type of data analysis. So that is the methods of the research. So first method is the research design. A qualitative phenomenological study approach was used in the study. It is experience from the first person point of view, which is connected on the study about the perception of the teachers at the Gracia Academy. So from the word itself, qualitative, which means descriptive. There are no numbers or quantitative amount that is related on the study, only qualitative. So qualitative means descriptive. According to Crossman 2020, a qualitative study is an approach that collects and works with non-numerical data and that seeks to interpret meaning from this data to help understand social life through the study of targeted population or places. Well, while the phenomenology is an approach used in qualitative research that focuses on the structure of various types of experience ranging from thought, memory, imagination, emotion, desire, and perceptions. Next is the sampling technique. In the study, the research used convenient sampling to distinguish the perception of the teachers towards the salary at the Gracia Academy. From the word itself, convenience means the subjects are selected because of their convenient accessibility and proximity to the researchers. So it means that we researchers will pick up our participants depending on their accessibility, so whether they are available or not. Next is the participants of the study. Teachers from the Gracia Academy will be given a letter of consent that states their authorization as a participant of the study. Signature of the participants will be written on the approval form as a proof of their agreement on conducting the interview. A sample of 5 elementary teachers and 3 high school teachers will participate in conducting the study. The researchers will give a designated pen name to the participants for their privacy and confidentiality. So the researchers will conduct an interview on 5 elementary teachers and 3 high school teachers. So here is our plan on the teachers, on who they are. So the 5 elementary teachers are Miss Marieta Arellano, Miss Carmen Mojica, Miss Desi Ponciano, Miss Ana Locablores, Miss Imelda Fevidal. So we don't have background on those teachers because I am not able to contact them through Facebook. We are not connected through Facebook, and I tried to add them, but we are not friends. So, and we only have background on the 3 high school teachers, which is Sir Jervin Destura, a Araling Panlipunan teacher, Sir Renzon Cortez, a mathematics teacher, and Miss Romiana Aviola, a Filipino teacher. Next is the research instrument. A semi-structured interview will be used to conduct the study. 6 questions will be asked to each participant. One-on-one interview will be conducted and 6 questions will be asked on that interview. And 8 questions will be given on the answer sheet or the interview protocol. The interview protocol is composed of open-ended questions and then spontaneously devised follow-up questions for more further understanding. And the data gathering procedures are: the researchers will provide a letter of consent, of course, to the to the principal, and also to the participants. Since convenient sampling technique is used, the researchers will seek for the teachers who are available and are accessible during the conducting of the interview. Third is the researchers will conduct an interview. The participants will undergo on a one-on-one interview, and after that, after the one-on-one interview, they will be given an answer sheet. After the interview and listening to the audio recordings, transcripts will be generated. So transcripts means the data that is being collected on the interview. Next is the data will be analyzed by thematic analysis. So last method is data analysis. The researchers will use thematic analysis. It follows a 5-step process. Here is the familiarization, coding, generating themes, defining and naming themes, and last is writing up. So the processes will be discussed on the next slide. Population and sampling. In the study, the researchers used convenient sampling to distinguish the perception of the teachers towards the salary at Dei Gracia Academy. Convenient sampling is a non-probability sampling where subjects are selected. The researchers will conduct an interview to the 5 elementary teachers and 3 high school teachers that depends on their availability. By the use of the sampling technique, the researchers will be able to gather information more accurately and clearly. The participants of the study, so we will conduct an interview to 5 elementary teachers and 3 high school teachers, and I've already stated before the teachers that we will gonna interview. And here is the data analysis. So the 5 processes are: first is the familiarization. So the researchers must get to know the gathered data. So before transcripting the data, the researchers must first understand what is the content of the data that is being gathered on their research, because it is hard to interpret the data if you are not being able to understand it very well, or if you don't know the content of your research. So you must know the content of your research for you to be able to transcript the data and the information that is being gathered. Next is coding. Coding means highlighting sections of the text, usually phrases or sentences, and coming up with codes to describe their content. So coding means that there are certain parts of the information that will be highlighted, and those highlighted words will be expanded. It means that it is a simple phrase or a simple word, but it means a whole lot of meaning, or it can be expanded into different forms of information, but it is only formed in a highlighted word or highlighted text. So that is what you call coding. There are keywords or codes that will be shall be organized by the researchers, because the information must be organized first properly for us to understand well, for the researchers to understand well the content of the research or the information that is being gathered. Next is generating themes. The codes will be combined by the researchers, gathering all data to each potential theme. Themes consist of ideas and descriptions that can be used to explain casual events, right? Just like what I've said before, those highlighted texts can be expanded, and therefore themes will be generated. So themes means that it is the ideas or the descriptions of the codes that is being highlighted. Next is defining and naming themes. So of course, we need also to organize properly our themes, and one of the ways to organize it is to define and to name it, for us to easily determine the themes that we have gathered or we have written up. And And last but not the least is writing up. So finally, the researcher will transform the analysis into an interpretable piece of writing by using vivid examples that is related to the themes. The report must relay the results of the analysis in a way that convinces the reader of the validity of the analysis. This answers the given research questions supported with verifiable evidences. So the last process is writing up. So writing up means it is the final answers, or it is the final information that is being gathered on the research. Since the data that is being gathered on the one-on-one interview and on the answer sheet is not the final data, which means it will be transcribed, and also the audio recordings will be transcribed. So the writing up process means that you have already completed the whole process of data analysis, and it is the final product of the analyzation of data, and it shall answer the following research questions, the three research questions, which is the what are the perception of the teachers towards their salary, how can they cope up with their uh, allowance, and how can they manage their salary well. So that's it, and thank you for listening. I hope that you'll understand my explanation. I'm sorry if sometimes I'm mental block because I also have a hard time on speaking. So that's all. Thank you.